Hi, I'm Sine, and we are the owners of Lisi Fit.
October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, and purple is the color that represents this cause.
We are here with our beautiful friend and model, Aisha, who is an advocate for this cause.
And we decided to do a collaboration, so that's why we created this set.
In our beautiful purple.
Yes, and we're here today to chat a little bit and get a little bit more info on this cause and why it means so much to you.
Well, thanks so much for having me, first of all. This is so important to me. This is something that I talk about all the time on my Instagram, and I feel it's something really important for every girl to talk about and understand, because 1 in 3 women will either experience this or know someone who's experienced this in their lifetime. And obviously the Lisi Fit fam are the perfect group of fabulous ladies that need to talk about this topic. So I really appreciate you guys having me and being able to do this.
Well,
Definitely.
We're really excited to get into all this.
For those at home who don't know, what is domestic abuse?
So abuse comes in many forms. Usually when people talk about domestic violence, the first thing they think of is, oh, their partner punched them in the face. It's always physical violence, but that's not the only thing that comes under the hub of domestic abuse. There is verbal abuse, mental, psychological abuse. There's also financial abuse, sexual abuse, and abuse on the children if you have children together, even abusing your pets if you have a pet or whatever. So I feel that there's this big umbrella of abuse that people don't really understand, and it's just overall how you shouldn't be treated by a partner who's supposed to love and care for you.
Definitely. And it's not easy to talk about either.
No, at all.
Yeah, definitely something that's not usually openly talked about, and that's why it was really important for us to bring this here today and
Bring
really
awareness.
want to, kind of like hear your story a little bit and like why you came to us about this idea a few months ago, and how this resonates with you.
So, I mean, I unfortunately have been in 2 violent relationships. The first relationship was with a partner that I met in college. Obviously, 16 to 25 is a really big bracket of when young women in particular, are abused. And that was when I got caught into it. I was really vulnerable. I just moved to the States. And I got into the relationship with this guy, and he was in my life for about 7 years, and we were in the relationship for 2. It started off with verbal abuse. Mm-hmm. He was very angry right when we got in the relationship. And then it wasn't until maybe like 6 months in that he pushed me for the first time, because I didn't take a towel into the shower, and I got out of the shower and I put water on the floor. So he dragged me from the bedroom through to the living room and then threw me out of the apartment half naked, because that's disrespectful apparently.
Wow.
And then obviously from that point, it went downhill really quickly from there. Like without getting too graphic, it was like strangulation, like to the point that I just wanted to die. Like the last couple of times that I was being abused by him, I think I was so mentally, emotionally, and physically drained that like I didn't even fight back anymore. I was just ready to go. But there was something in me that was just like, don't, like you gotta keep going. Like don't let this be like the last moment. And I managed to like leave the situation.
And what was that trigger that made you want to leave the situation?
I tried to leave him about, I think probably like 4 times I tried to leave him, but he stalked me. He was...
So it was him that was like holding you back?
Well, yeah, because a lot of times in abusive situations...
They'll manipulate
Well,
you.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
The abuser wants power and control.
Sure.
That's what it is. So when you, the person that they're having power and control over, wants to exit, they're gonna go like this.
Manipulate you.
No, and it's not just manipulation, it's physical force, it's stalking, like emails, text messages, phone calls, threats, like lots and lots of things, hiding in my complex, like when I was coming down the stairs, just grabbing me and just really
creating fear,
frightening things. And you think, oh, well, actually, I would rather be with him because at least I know what he's doing than if I try and run away and then he's doing these things. And most of the time, the higher percentage of homicides happen after the woman has left the relationship.
Oh,
So that's going to add a massive fear on when you're going to leave and how you're going to leave, because you're like, oh, well, sometimes it's just better the devil you know. So that's why it took and it takes 7 to 10 times for a woman to leave. A woman, or these statistics are for women, but it takes 7 to 10 times for a woman to leave an abusive situation on average.
Wow.
So when I finally did leave that relationship, I filed a restraining order here in the States. I didn't actually get that restraining order. I went to the court case, and he's very charming and manipulative. And the woman said to me that I seem like a very strong woman and I'll get over it.
This is the court system.
This is the judge that said that to me.
Wow.
And I sat there and I was like, I gave you like this much stuff and you basically just disregarded me, and I just didn't know what to do at that point. And it was only actually recently that he stopped contacting me altogether, and that we've been broken up for like 4.5 years now.
Wow.
So initially when I first left the situation, I was just living in fear for a long time, moved apartments, everything. I put everything in place that I could to put myself in a safe situation. But then you think, how am I even supposed to work on my own healing if I don't feel safe? And the system isn't helping me feel safe either. There was not enough resources. So then I went back to the UK for a while, met my second boyfriend, who was totally opposite to my first boyfriend. Wonderful, charming, like so into me, like really attentive. All my friends liked him. My family loved him. Narcissist.
What was the first thing that he did that you kind of looked at him like, this might not be okay?
The last time that I ever saw him, the first and only time that he put his hands on me, we were out, he just flipped, we were on the bus and he started punching me in the face. And then when we got back to the apartment.
In public?
In public.
Wow.
And then he hit me with his shoe like multiple times, and I walked out, and this was in the UK though, went to the police, filed my restraining order, had to fly back from my court case, and I got 5 years restraining order. He got charged, and it was what it was. But it was so embarrassing. It was so hard. I really thought that it was my fault. Like I thought that, oh my God, I've had all of this, and now this second situation that I really tried to have a healthy relationship, and it's all my fault. Like I must be doing something wrong. This is why I'm being abused. And then when I started reading about it, because that question of why, like why is this happening to me? And I feel like a lot of abuse victims feel like this, or people who have suffered trauma, they always wonder why.
What did they do?
Yeah, like why did this happen?
Yeah.
And you can't understand that why, because those people they're mentally unstable. Well, I want to say that they're mentally unstable, but a lot of these men just know what they're doing and they're manipulative and whatever. And I can't even give them the you're mentally unwell, because that gives you an excuse for your behavior, and that's just not acceptable. But I guess after that point, I was just like, you know what? I need to focus on me, even though this is really embarrassing. It's very common for women to be in multiple abusive situations because it's such a cycle that you don't realize that you're in. And there's lots of things that the abusers do to your brain that you just automatically go back into what you know. So it really, the hardest part has been the last few years that I've really worked on myself and faced that trauma, and like really started to truly love myself again. Because I think even in a bad relationship, I still liked my body. I've always been really confident, but to really love yourself, like that's a lot of work. And that's painful. Like the pain that you go through to face that and really try and make a way to move forward, that was like such a journey. But that's why I think it's so important to talk about this and teach women and young girls and even guys who are in bad relationships that it's okay to do what's best for you, and it's okay to put up healthy boundaries, and it's really important to love yourself first before you get in a relationship with somebody.
Wow.
Definitely.
I'm so sorry that you went through that, but I'm so glad that you're on the other side of it. You're in a very happy relationship now, a very happy and healthy relationship. So there is like, there is hope. Like you don't have to like stay in that cycle of, you know, being a victim.
Right.
But to be honest with you, I don't think I would have found my healthy relationship if I didn't have a healthy relationship with myself.
Yeah.
Sure.
And I think learning to be alone and be happy alone and healthy alone and put yourself first and create boundaries in everyday life, that's how you have a healthy relationship with your partner. And just because I have a healthy relationship and I have a good, nice boyfriend doesn't mean that that's the end of the road. Like, I still have things that I work on, I still have triggers, but I now have a partner that sits there and talks to me about it and communicates and listens, and we work on it together, because that's what you're supposed to do with your partner. And I also understand that, you know what, if he wasn't around, I would still be good by myself. And that's a really important message to give to all the girls that follow you, is that, like, it's okay to be by yourself and be happy, and you are the most important thing. Like, you loving yourself in whatever capacity that is more important than having a man or a woman as your partner to lift you up.
Right.
So what are some of the things that you did after you left the relationship that really helped you work on yourself and be the strong, powerful woman that you are today?
I actually started with affirmation boards. That was the first thing I did.
Love that.
I do vision boards generally for like work stuff, but I realized that I needed it for my personal self. So I made this board and I put all these words on it, like, you are beautiful, you're strong, you're empowered, things that I really got like punched out of me. Like, I know I'm saying punched out of me, and it was physically punched out of me, but mentally, all those things were punched out of me. So it's like, you have to retell yourself those things. So I made the board, put it by my bathroom door. So every morning I had to walk past it. And I would see it. It started getting into my subconscious, and I would go in the mirror and I would look at myself and be like, you are beautiful, you're enough, you're this, you're that. And you know, I used to stand there crying in the mirror because I did not believe it. And I hated every moment of doing it. But as the weeks went on, I started to believe it more. And the power of the mind
So
is something
powerful.
that's unmatched. It's
So
unmatched.
powerful.
As much as you got all of that bad stuff forced into me that was bestowed on me by somebody else, you can still change it back and be like, this is what it is. I'm this. Full stop. So I started with that, and then after that, exercise has really helped me. Like, boxing was something that really helped me with my anger towards the situation. So obviously it's really helped having all these cute workout outfits. But yeah,
got you.
exercise really helps, and talking to my friends and family openly about it, because they didn't really know what was
I'm
happening.
sure that was hard.
Yeah, and like, even though it was, I think a lot of it was really hard for them to hear, like knowing that I was suffering and they just didn't really know, because I was really good at hiding it. I think that was really releasing to do. And then after that, I actually got therapy, because I realized that even though I'm really happy and I'm really good, therapy is so good for you, man. To have somebody that is an outside person. And it took me a while to get a therapist. Like, first of all, don't just go to any therapist. Find the one that you relate to, because when it comes to these situations, I noticed a lot of therapists were very patronizing, and I didn't want someone to go, oh, I know, I'm so sorry. I wanted someone to be like, how can we work on this? Okay, this is happening to you, and I know you understand this is happening to you, but how do we put things in place to help you move forward? That's all I wanted. And then when I found the right person, that's exactly what we've been doing, which it leaps and bounds then after that point.
Yeah.
But obviously lots of emotions and really difficult things, but I guess that's how I really kind of started to move on. So I knew that Domestic Violence Awareness Month was coming, and I really wanted to do something that can kind of like give a hit for people to like see and bring awareness. And I really appreciate you guys for even listening when I called you to like take the moment
Oh my gosh.
to do this.
Of course.
And because obviously, like, I support the brand, I wear this stuff all the time, and I just thought that your brand would be perfect because of the way you empower women. And I just wanted to like say thank you basically for doing that.
of
And
course.
Oh my
like,
gosh, of course. Yeah. From the very beginning, when we started this company, we wanted to create a safe space and a community for women to feel, like they could have
be
a
a part
place
of something,
yeah,
feel empowered
through the good and the bad. And this is something that's not openly discussed, and I think that a lot of women can really relate to this and hopefully, get help that they need from all of the advice that you're giving to
or even leave a bad situation if you're in one, because hopefully this conversation will give you the encouragement to take that step to walk away and start your new life and be fabulous, because nobody's wasting any more time on this, no.
Yes.
But what I really love about Leasy Fit is just that you're an activewear brand, but you not only empower different races, different sizes, you make all these outfits that just make you feel so cute, and it empowers you to go out and be the healthiest you. You're gonna go work out in this, you can go for a coffee in this, you can go to your therapist in this. I was just talking about therapy. You can do your affirmations in this. This is something that you can do. It's a lifestyle, and being healthy in your mind and your body and soul is a lifestyle, and that's why I really wanted to do this with you guys, because that's exactly what I'm trying to say, and you guys empower it. So
Absolutely.
thank you. Honestly.
Thank you for being here and helping bring awareness to this, because like you guys said, it's not easy to discuss or talk about, and I hope that, if it's one person or 100 girls, that just somebody hears this and goes and gets help and has now the resources to be able to do that.
Or even, a little bit more feel like a bit stronger than
they're not
did
alone
yesterday.
So if I know somebody who's going through this, or even a family member or a friend, what are ways to get help or find the information to do so?
There's loads of different resources that you can also find on leasyfit.com. We're going to put that on there.
Yes.
The domestic violence hotline is in the US. There's also Refuge in the UK if you are overseas. I think what is more important than organizations is, as a family member or a friend or a coworker, is to listen without judgment. And I know that's a really hard thing to do, because we all are very judgmental. Even if you say you're not, everybody judges something. So to hear somebody is letting somebody do that to them, that's how you feel it is when they say it to you. That's what it sounds like. Oh, you're allowing somebody to treat you like that? Judge. That's not what they need, because they're already being mentally abused at home. They're also probably being isolated from friends and family, and they feel like they're alone. So if they've had the courage to open up to you and talk about it, to be able to listen without judgment is going to be so helpful, and you're literally not doing anything other than
just
listening. Because knowing that they have that support is when they're going to start leaning on you, so you can actually help them leave. So just wanted to say that. And then aside from that, so also I'm setting up an organization called Purple Hearts, surprisingly, Purple Hearts.
Which we're so excited about.
Yeah, so it's basically going to be in LA though at the moment. Got to start small, but a women's center that provides basically a one-stop shop for girls, women, children, even men, to come and basically get whatever resources they need. I felt that I didn't have the right legal advice. I feel like I didn't have the right therapy support. I feel like I didn't really know what to do. Okay, you can leave, but what do I do now? What do I do? So this place will be mainly workshops and things. You can come for yoga, you can come to women empowerment workshops. All those things will be at the front, but you can also get advice from a lawyer. You can also get help getting a restraining order or a protective order. There can also be access to shelters, transportation to those shelters, therapy access, medical access, because I know that, there's a lot of sexual abuse as well. So it would be basically the one-stop shop.
That's amazing. I think that so many women could have benefited from a place like that during the whole pandemic, because I'm sure that domestic abuse cases have spiked during this time.
Yeah, because they're stuck at home with their partners, isolated, and well, even more isolated than they are in their everyday lives. So it's over tripled the amount of cases. So this is like really needed. And then also just people just don't know. People like, you just don't know. Like if you're in a situation and you don't know that there are places to look, you're not gonna look. You're gonna be like, oh, well, I don't see anyone else around me being abused. So what do I do? Or it's really normalized. Like in my first relationship, all of his friends were also abusing their partners and doing it in front of me. So it was very normalized. It was like the Twilight Zone. So how am I, also being mentally abused, gonna be like, oh yeah, this isn't right. Oh, but she's putting up with it. She's putting up with it. She's putting up with it. So I guess this is just this is what it's like to be in a relationship. Again, that's why it's really important to talk about it online. When you're scrolling on Instagram, here we are.
Aisha, thank you so much for being here with us today. This has truly, truly touched Liz and I, and I'm sure many people out there. And I just want you to know you are so powerful, and we are so proud of you.
So proud of you, yes. And we have decided to name this print Empower. It will be available on LisiFit.com on October 15th. And we've decided that a portion of our proceeds will be going to the National Domestic Violence Hotline. And we're so excited that you came to us with this idea, and here's to many more collaborations in the future.
Yeah. So for anyone at home who is in an abusive relationship right now and you're watching this video, just remember that you are not alone and you can move on from abuse. I am a testament of being able to move on and live a happy life without being abused anymore, and you deserve so much better than what you're putting up with right now, and it's gotta go, like, because you deserve so much more, and we all support it 100%. So I don't want to say anything else, so I'm literally gonna start crying. So that's why I'm like, okay, just stop talking.
No, yeah, I mean, you are not alone. This is something that we wanted to bring light to, and use these resources. Get that help, find that friend that's going to help you get out of the situation, and you really have your whole life ahead of you.
Definitely. There is life after this, and even when you think that there isn't, just know that there is, and there's so much help out there for you.
And who doesn't want to be fabulous? Like, come on. Yes. Boom. Hug it out.
Thank you, my love.
Thank you.
Of course. Lisi Fit.
Lisi Fit out.
If you or anyone that you know is in an abusive situation, there are many ways to help, including implementing a safety plan,
starting with a safety word,
which could be a word used between you and your friend, you and your family member, whenever they are ready to leave.
as well as a safety bag that you're going to want to have documentation, clothes, money, essential things that you're going to need that you're going to also want to put to the side, hidden, or have the friend or somebody that's helping you escape have it with them as well.
Make sure that it's right next to the door, it's somewhere easy for them to grab, so that whenever they are ready to leave, they have everything that they already need.
You're going to need transportation as well, and a safe place to go, whether it's with a friend, a family member, a coworker, or a shelter.
And there are multiple shelters in each city. If you check out Domestic Violence Hotline, you will be able to see the nearest one to you. All of the resources will be available at lisifit.com.
Here at the Lisi fam, we are supporting you, we are encouraging you. You can do this, there's a life after this.
You will get through this. Do not think that this is the end. There is a completely different life after this. So just know that at LisiFit, we encourage you to do what you want to do.
You are not alone.